Click the link in the description for your free Amsoil catalog. Before we get started, I'd like to give a quick shout out to some of our friends. The Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. Search for them on Facebook. Central Minnesota Pond Racing. Search for them on Facebook. The historic Lancaster Motel, for the ultimate Eastern trail riding adventure. Crane's Snowmobile Museum at 172 Main Street in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The Vintage Snowmobile Club of America Quarterly Magazine. The New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum at Bearbrook State Park in Allenstown, New Hampshire. And lastly, if you decide to advertise with the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast, this could be your advertising message. Good evening and welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad you're here. I have an extra robust lineup of vintage snowmobile entertainment on tap for you tonight. But before we get into all of that, I want to make sure that everything is working properly. So if you can see my face and hear my voice, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment. Please let me know where you're viewing this from and whether you are a first-time viewer or a regular viewer. Now, to our first-time viewers, if this is your first time hanging out with us tonight, I hope you have a good time with us, and I hope you decide to join us here each and every Thursday night through the winter months, meaning through the end of March, for another fun-filled episode of the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast. This podcast simulcasts to 8 different places across Facebook and YouTube. So wherever you're viewing this right now, just circle back in 1 week's time and we'll be here waiting for you. Now, to our regular viewers who are here week after week, month after month, and season after season, you guys are the ones who make this possible, and we really, really appreciate that. Let's take a few comments and then we'll get right into it here. We've got Rob waiting for us in the green room. Let's see. We've got our good friend Ben Thomas, who was on a few weeks ago. He says, hello, everyone, loud and clear from Carterville, New York. Thank you, Ben, for being in the house. We appreciate that. Our mutual friend, Jim Holbrook, from Thetford Center, Vermont, regular viewer. He says, it sounds good. And I apologize, Jim. I was looking for you last weekend at the Washington, Vermont Vintage Snowmobile Show, and I didn't see you. Next time, I guess we'll have to catch up with you. Dirk Seams, who was on, I think it was last week, on the podcast. He says, hello from Otter Tail Lake, Minnesota. Everything is sounding good. We appreciate that. Our good friend Reese Fleury is in the house. Tupper Lake, New York, and he is a very, very regular viewer. John Chukalowski says, I got it. Well, glad to hear that you got it, and we got you as well. Remember, Sonny and Cher, I got you, babe, and baby, I got, baby, you got me, or I don't know how that went, but that's what made me think of. Anyway, Paul Rogan is in the house. Paul Reagan says, sounds good from Amboy, New York. Thank you for being on. We've got someone on Facebook saying, sounds good, Mike. We appreciate that. Dave Lowery is in the house from Alberta, Canada. Regular viewer. He says, brr, it's cold. Now, Dave shared some images with us a few weeks ago, and we're going to be looking at those tonight. I put them into a little montage with some music, and we're going to be looking at that a little later. Johnny Chokolowski says, good. So I think that's great. David from Alaska Railroad, regular viewer, says, good evening, Mike. Big snow on the way tomorrow for me. That's good news. Regular viewer. Also another Facebook user saying loud and clear. Appreciate that. Regular viewers, Stacy and Art Fosler. They're saying it sounds good from Platkill, New York. They're regular viewers. Some of the most regular viewers we have. They've been with us from the very beginning. And sometime in the next few weeks, I think in early February, we've made plans to bring them on for some show and tell. Cannot wait to do that. Someone on Facebook, loud and clear, Mike, Vernon Center, New York, regular viewer. Appreciate that. Brian Van Haverbeek, he's a kitty cat collector extraordinaire. Sounds good from Mount Bridges, Ontario. Dominic Cain is in the house from Michigan. We're going to be looking at some video that he sent us tonight as well. And I have to say it's an embarrassment of riches tonight, because just about everything we're doing is either video clips or images that people have sent in, viewers of the podcast, which makes me really happy to see people engaging with us like that. And the last comment before we get started, someone on Facebook saying, got you in good shape. Well, we appreciate that. All right, let's switch screens here and bring Rob on. We're going to get this party started. Rob, how you doing tonight?
Under the weather, but I made it here.
Well, good. We're glad you came on. We appreciate it. And yeah, like we were talking about backstage, a lot of stuff going around. I was good and sick there a month or so ago. My throat still isn't right. But yeah, I hope you feel better, man.
The guy from Alaska, the guy from Saskatchewan, today it was minus 31 out there.
Wow.
They're getting winter.
So somebody's getting it at least. Yeah. Crazy. Well, cool. Well, let's get this party started. Item number 1 is some footage from 2019, the Crane Snowmobile Show. I should say the iconic Crane Snowmobile Show in Lancaster, New Hampshire. It's one of my very favorite shows, and I got a call from Paul Crane yesterday asking me if we could promote his show on the podcast and on my social media properties. We're going to do exactly that tonight. His next show, this is going to be his 10th anniversary Vintage Snowmobile Show, is going to be on February the 3rd. Next month. It's just coming up in a few weeks, and it's an excellent show. And I'm going to play a clip from that from 2019 as a teaser to try to encourage people to come and join us in Lancaster, New Hampshire on Saturday, February the 3rd. So let's take a look at that. All right, so we are here at Crane's Snowmobile Museum in Lancaster, New Hampshire. Today is February the 2nd, 2019, and we're at his Paul Crane's annual Vintage Snowmobile Show. Paul Crane's the owner of the Snowmobile Museum, and people are just starting to pull in here. There'll be people pulling in here over the next couple of hours, and here's somebody now. Let me get out of his way. Bet he's got more than one sled in there. So over the next couple of hours, we'll probably have 50 or 100 sleds here. So as far as the sleds that are here, let's take a quick walk by and see what we have. There's an RXL, an old 650 TX. How's it going?
Good, yourself?
Good.
How many of those you seen?
None. That's my first one. Is this yours?
Yeah, my son's.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I do a lot of videos on the internet. Do you feel like talking that up a little? Just say my name is, and this is a.
Oh, let me get my son. That's his.
All right. Yeah, you can talk it up.
Yeah. He'll probably tell you the story. He's chasing that for 3 years.
Really?
He's here at the show, and the guy wanted like $1,800 for it. He says, "I paid $1,800 for that sled," and he finally chased it down, and we went out in Massachusetts someplace. Day trip, we're gonna get it. We get that in the sled far go behind it.
Yeah.
They made 3 sleds: a purple one, a maroon one, and a blue one.
Wow.
We get the purple one team with this.
Wow, this is. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
His wife, 399 cancer, and he had it. He died. He called his wife right away, right? So I waited like a year, and I just gave her a raise.
I like that Puma.
Thanks.
That's nice. Is that yours?
Yeah.
I do a lot of videos on the internet. Do you feel like talking that up?
I've seen you on there.
Oh, good.
You're up at the Vermont one in there a little while ago.
Yeah,
earlier
totally.
this year,
In Washington, yeah.
I see you on there all the time on the videos.
Nice. I'm glad you watch it.
Yeah.
I'll give you a business card. I got to go in and get some. They're not in my pocket, but I'll give you one before the day's over.
Okay.
But do you feel like talking it up? Just my name is, and this is my Puma, and just like you're telling a friend about it.
Sure.
All right. Yeah, we'll go over next to it and.
I've got one. I want you to sign it after.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's beautiful.
So did you used to race this? Is that?
No, my dad used to race.
Oh wow.
25th, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me try to get this better focus here. Wow. So is there a story behind that, or?
Yeah, my grandfather owned Rodco in Randolph, Vermont, the Arctic Cat distributor.
Yeah.
And so my dad met his daughter, ended up marrying her, and ended up racing for Rodco back in the late 60s and early 70s.
Wow.
And, he raced the King Cats and the EXTs, and that was pretty much it.
Wow. Those are legendary.
So he was good in his day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the best.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
And is this one of the ones that he raced? Or?
no, but this is an original that a guy down in Braintree, Vermont bought from my grandfather in 1970. And he raced around the local backyard races back then, and other than painting the tank, it's pretty much original. You can see the holes where they tried to do different things with pipes in it.
Oh yes, yeah. They had Montana pipes on it or something?
No, just straight pipes out the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a megaphone outside. Most likely.
It's all original inside, so
Oh, look at that.
Pretty cool, huh?
That's nice. Wow.
it's a little piece of history anyways.
Yeah. Let me come on it from the back here.
Yeah, I'd like to have you sign it. I'd like to do it. Sure. That'd be so cool.
Absolutely.
I've got a Sharpie on me if you need one. Do you need a Sharpie? All right. Sure.
Oh, let me see if you got a copy.
Well, cool. That's just a quick look at the Crane Snowmobile Show that's coming up in just a few weeks. By the way, there's all of these sleds outside, plus this building behind. I'm trying to get a shot of that building. Anyway, there's another 100 sleds inside the building, as well as snacks and burgers and chili. Paul Crane's daughter Melissa makes. There's some. I'm trying to get a shot of that building here. Anyway, Paul Crane's daughter Melissa makes some of the best chili I've ever had. It's worth the trip just for that. Okay, here we go. That big building on the right, 50 by 100 foot building with over 100 sleds in there. Very much worth the trip because there's a good 50 to 100 sleds that show up as exhibitor sleds, and another 50 to 100 inside. There's another 100 inside, I should say. Yeah, you can't lose with this show. Any reactions, Rob, to what we're looking at?
Did they bring some of the ones out of the building and put them on display?
No.
No. I think you've done a video of inside the building before, haven't you?
Yes, absolutely. There are several. In fact, if you get on Facebook or YouTube and just search Crane Snowmobile Museum, you'll find it.
Machine you showed an orange motor ski. What was the name of that motor ski? I've only seen one before, and I can't think of what it was called.
Let me see what that was. I don't remember either. It was
right there, that orange motor ski.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a special name for it, but I can't think of what it was called.
Was it a Zephyr or something, or a Capri, or I don't remember.
No, it wasn't a Capri. Capri was a small one for kids. Yeah, if any of our listeners know, send us a message.
Please do, yes. And these sleds we're looking at here, that Motoski, the Whippet, and those Polarises are all owned by Jason Gibbs. And that was his father that I was talking to. And he went in and got Jason, and we had a good interview with Jason talking about the Whippet. And I've got that, for another episode. But
Nice. I like the story about the Puma. I like when you find out the history of the snowmobile and who owned it and what his father did with it. And yeah.
Totally. In fact, I want to get him on. I'm friends with him on Facebook. That's Dennis. I'm drawing a blank on his last name. Unfortunately, I'm having a senior moment. But I've heard a lot of stories about Rodco. If I understand correctly, and I may have this wrong, that's why I'd like to get him on the show to fill in all the blanks. But Rodco, as I understand it, was the regional distributor for Arcticat back in the late 60s and into the 70s. Now, regional, I don't know if that was Vermont, Maine, New Hampshire, or if that was all of New England. I've got more questions than answers about Rodco, but I'd love to have him on sometime to fill in the blanks and tell us more about Rodco and exactly what that was about. And I think they might have been behind some racing teams as well. But I like I said, I've got more questions than answers, but I'd like to have him on sometime. And we've got comments of plenty coming in. Oh, and I think I've got an answer to your question. Okay, here we go. David from Alaska Railroad says, good evening to Rob. Steve Woodward says, hello from rainy Rochester, New York. Sorry to hear about the rain. That's a bummer. Our good friend James Spranger says, thanks, Mike, for those DVDs that you sent with my brother. Oh, you are very welcome, James. I'm glad you enjoyed those. Cool deal. Josh Leviker says, good evening from Turin, New York. We're going to have Josh Leviker on the, let me look at my calendar, on the 25th, 2 weeks from tonight. We're going to have Josh Leviker on this very podcast. Now, here's an answer to your question, Rob. That moto ski was the Grand Prix.
Yep.
And also, more than one person answering that. Matthew Vincent Brayman says it's a Grand Prix. And we've got some experts in the house. Jim Holbrook says Grand Prix also.
Got a lot of smart listeners.
Yes, for sure. And 1970 Grand Prix, it sounds like. Jeffrey Patton says, good evening. David from Alaska Railroad says, I would like it if that 650 TX Starfire and the RXL would find its way to your house. Absolutely. In fact, just for saying that, I'm going to give you another peek at that because those were some sexy machines right there. And then one more comment, and we'll keep the party going here. The moto ski is a Grand Prix. Armand Buteau from Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. And then someone else on Facebook saying hello to everyone. We really appreciate that. So let me remove this, and it's time now for announcements. This is the time in the podcast where Rob talks to us about Amsoil.
Okay.
And when you're ready, Rob, I'll put you full screen. And
we talked about 2-cycles and all the benefit of the 2-cycle and the 3 different 2-cycles we have available. But everybody's got to pull their trailers to the event. So we're going to talk about the gas additive. Amsoil has a really good gas additive that cleans the injectors. It dissolves the dirt in the tank. It cleans the injectors. It cleans the valves, the top of the pistons, and blows it all out. It's almost as efficient as going to a garage and getting the system clean. Now, most people think by putting a cleaner in, you're going to get better gas mileage. Cleaners don't burn as good as gas, so you don't. But after the next tank, Amsoil says guaranteed 2.5% increase in gas mileage. You don't really get good gas mileage. It brings it up to what the vehicle was when it was new. So if you got an older vehicle, say a 4-year-old truck, and you're pulling a trailer, if you're going back and forth to work with that truck, it's working fine. But the day you go to put that 4-bed trailer on and you start pulling it, you notice you don't have as much power. Amsoil's got a product called Top Lube. This here Top Lube lubricates the top of the system. It gives better seal around the rings, so you get more horsepower and more performance on the engine. My old truck, I put one in every tank because it's only like $7 for the bottle. I put one in every tank. For the snowmobile, small engines, snow blowers, for the ethanol problems, we have the Quick Shot. Ethanol is a big problem, and it's going to get worse. For the diesels, we got diesels. 4 different diesels: a diesel fuel injector, cold flow, cetane boost, and then this one here is my favorite. It's how do I do that? Over here. It's all in one. Has cold flow, diesel fuel cleaner, and octane boost all in the one bottle. And something I like to run this time of year. We were talking about this last night, and all my buddies with the stock cars, they all run water in their stock cars because you don't supposed to put antifreeze in case it spills all over the track. So they run a water saver, a coolant boost. This coolant boost will disperse the heat faster, so the stock car would run cooler. I like it in my own vehicle. As mentioned last night, most people in Canada go to Tim Hortons every night. I'm only 2 blocks away from Tim Hortons. By the time I get there, I got heat coming out of my rad because of this here product. It makes stock cars run cooler, but it puts the heat in the engine faster. We also run our snowmobiles. Unless you let your snowmobile warm up, you can have a lot of problems. So that's a number of other products we have available. And by becoming a preferred customer, you can buy it all at a better discount. Mike's got a thing on here where he's got his email and his phone number, tell you how to sign up as a preferred customer and get the best possible discount on all the Amsoil products. If you got any questions about any product, send us a message.
Absolutely. And there's a link in the description. Like he said, the first link in the description is for the preferred customer program. Click that link. It's very similar to a Costco membership. It's $10. You're probably going to save more than that $10 on your first order. But click that first and then start shopping. And everything you add to your cart is going to come up at the deepest level of discount. Once you hit $100, you're getting free shipping. It's a wonderful value. And by clicking my link, I am now your dealer. And so that means Rob and I are available to help you with any questions or concerns that you have. And also the commissions that I make go toward supporting the costs of doing this podcast. So we like to say thank you very, very much for that, because it helps enormously. It's not cheap to do this podcast. So we thank you for that. Also, I think you had an announcement you're going to make, Rob, about Ski-Doo parts.
Yeah. Last week I was working on a 1999 Formula Deluxe snowmobile. It has one of those arch suspensions in it, and I couldn't find parts anywhere. And people told me, go try this guy about 3 hours north of me. Bombardier sends all their old parts to his warehouse. I phoned the guy up, and he had the parts I need, brand new, still in the package for a 1999 snowmobile. So anybody's got an old snowmobile, doesn't matter if it's a 1970 or an 80 or a 90, and you have a part that you're looking for, send Mike a message if you know the part number, or just tell us what the part is for what year, what model. And I'm going to go up there and do an interview with the guy. And if you guys have a bunch of parts you need, when we walk around, we'll try to find it in the warehouse and show you what it is and what the price is.
Absolutely. That sounds like a lot of fun. I can't wait to see that. And there's an email address scrolling across the bottom of the screen. That's the way to contact us with your requests for parts, and I'll pass that right along to Rob. And when he goes up there, they'll locate that part if they have it, which sounds like pretty likely they would. One other thing I want to talk about before we get back, actually a couple of things. The Lancaster Motel, if you're planning to go to that Crane Snowmobile Show, and by the way, I have a graphic for that. You're going to have to put your face right up to the screen to read that. If you can't read that, go to the Crane Snowmobile Museum Facebook page. Just search for it on Facebook, and you'll find the details. But the place to stay if you're coming from any distance away for the Crane Show is the Lancaster Motel. It's just a short walk away. In fact, I'm going to play a quick announcement here about the Lancaster Motel, and we'll catch up with you on the other side. It's just about 40 seconds long. I'd like to give a quick shout out to our friends at the historic Lancaster Motel in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The Lancaster Motel has been serving snowmobilers since the 60s, and they are the perfect eastern trail riding destination for snowmobilers young and old. The Lancaster Motel is right on Corridor Trail 5 in Lancaster, New Hampshire, with plenty of parking for vehicles, sleds, and trailers. Plus, the Lancaster Motel is within walking distance of Crane's Snowmobile Museum, plus restaurants, shopping, entertainment, and more. Click the link in the description to learn more about the Lancaster Motel. And we are back. So one more announcement before we get back into the program. I got an email this week from Staren Mickeljord. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he's got a question for us. So if anybody understands what we're talking about here, please leave a comment. He's watching tonight, and hopefully you can have answers for him. He's wondering if we have any knowledge on the pre-production 1997 TXC 600 Polaris. This is with the twin-cylinder Liberty motor. He purchased one from a longtime friend who owned it since 2000, and he posted it to a Facebook wedge group, and he was immediately informed that it's one of 128 sleds produced with distinctive features. It's built on a 440 chassis. It's got a race tank and seat, IFS 10 front suspension, and steel corner support that only those 128 had. And he says, thank you for that. He also says, by the way, excellent podcast. He enjoys watching it live, and he plans to be at the Elk River, Minnesota event this year with his Viking sleds. So we thank you for that. Also, he's got an update to this. He says, another difference is the gold-bodied Fox shocks versus the white body shocks on the 98s. He said he spoke wrong regarding the trailing arms. The pre-production has the IFS Extra versus the 98 XC10. Also, the XCR racer style seat and tank versus the full length one piece in 98. Here are some quick images of the sled he's talking about. So if anybody knows anything about this sled, any kind of details, production numbers, unique things about this sled, please leave it in the comments for Staren to find, and I'll read them on the screen too. Let me switch gears here. Now we've got a couple of quick comments and we'll get back into the program. We're just getting started, by the way. We've got a ton of stuff to look at tonight. Oh, here we go. Dennis Kovaleski. That's the cat guy. His father was his father-in-law, I believe, was the owner of Rodco. Dennis, we would love to have you on some night to talk about Rodco. And if you have any kind of images or artifacts from back in the day with Rodco, we would love to have you on to learn more about that. Paul Reagan says, "Hi, David, another railroader here. Cool deal." He's talking to David at Alaska Railroad. Anna Chris. Okay. We're starting to get stuff in here that's not for this. It's somebody wanting to wants me to take them on a date or something. And that's not really what we're doing with this podcast. Anyway, so please don't do that kind of stuff. I don't know how that stuff gets in here. Anyway, Mad Dog says, bunch of snow on the way in Wisconsin. May have to take the old Ski-Doo Elan for a rip this weekend. It's about time. Cool deal. Well, I hope you're able to do that, Mad Dog. And let's see. Someone on Facebook says, good evening, Mike. Was so hoping to get on sometime this winter for some show and tell. And it's not too late. Oh, and I misunderstood. This Midge Rosebrook is saying that's Dennis Kovaleski. Yes, and I am friends with Dennis on Facebook, and I need to reach out to him for that. And Midge, this is Ed, quote, Midge Rosebrook, the founder of the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. We're going to be featuring a video clip that he and I did a little later in the podcast. So let's look at the menu. We're on item number 3. Now, we went to Washington, Vermont this weekend for the snowmobile show there. And the night before, I had all my video gear, my winter clothing, the whole thing piled up at the door, ready to go, make sure I wouldn't forget anything. I got it all in the car that morning, and I get to the show, and you know what I forgot is my cell phone. So that means I can't do video. So there was some naughty words being uttered when I realized that. But thankfully, my brother lives close to that show, and he was there. Pardon me. And thankfully, he saved the day. He took some images and video clips. So let's take a look at this montage of video clips. We'll look at the still videos. I'm sorry, the still images tonight. Next week, we'll look at the video clips he got. Let's take a look. It's taking a minute to load here. How did the commercial go? There'll be no wine before it's time. The good wine is worth waiting for. There we go. Well, that must be really good wine.
Should we play the Japanese music?
yes. Thank you so much to my brother Brian for getting these images for us and saving the day. Rob, anything catch your eye over there?
I like the barn busters, especially those Huskies. Or some of them look like you just pulled them right out of the barn, and I wonder if they all still run. And
Yeah, there's one.
yeah. And the first one right there on that same picture, the Arctic Cat, is that one they sit side by side in it? It looks awful wide. And is that a rotary Arctic Cat?
Yeah, there was one with a Wankel. Let me see. There was Steve Dickinson's, if we're thinking the same one. Let me find that.
There's
No,
the one
this
looks
is
like
the
you
one
sit
you're
side by
thinking.
side, and it's so wide. But I like the
I'm trying
leopard
to.
seats. They're a collector's piece,
Yeah.
the leopard seats. Yeah,
Oh, and
that's
how about
unique
this one?
design.
Yeah, that is cool. And Ray Parento's rup there. He had some rups there. Oh, here we go. Now, this is Steve Dickinson's sled. This is in the modified category. Is that a Wankel rotary engine? Is that what we're looking
It
at
must
there?
be. It must be. Yeah.
Yeah, he's. I need to get him on the podcast as well. He's a serious cat collector. Steve
Aftermarket
Dickinson.
front suspension on it looks too. That doesn't look factory.
True. Yeah. And then that one behind it too, that trail cat or that cross country cat had a modern suspension with a lot of travel. And
There was that motor ski number 22 on it. I wonder if they got the history. Who raced it?
oh yes, let me find that. That was Tom Waters. That was a mod sled also. Let me right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, Tom has a serious collection. He's got a couple of others like that too, like modified sleds and the interesting thing is he's a great guy to talk to, but he never ever wants to come on camera, which I understand. You know, I never pressure people to come on camera, but he's always reluctant to talk his sleds up on camera, which is unfortunate because it'd be neat to learn more about these sleds.
Yeah.
But he's a great guy and a great collector. It's always great to see him.
Did you get a chance to talk to the guy that had the vintage hood on the modern Skidoo?
I did not. He was talking to another guy when I was there, and I couldn't. I didn't want to interrupt. But
He did a
yeah,
nice
it sounds
job
like
on
it's. He sure did. It came off really nice. It's you know, a modern chassis with the vintage hood on it. It looks great. I'm trying to see if I can find that right there.
Yes. Yeah.
He said he gets a lot of looks on the trail.
Yeah. It's got to be like a 1970 hood.
Sure.
With a headlight that doesn't go up and down.
The permanent headlight. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, cool. We've got some comments coming in. We want to take these real quick and because we've got so much to look at tonight. Just trying to find my spot here. Okay, here we go. I think we saw that one. So Jim Layton is on saying hello. Cool deal. Nice to see you, Jim, and we need to get him on too. Our good friend Midge Rosebrook says thank you for everything you do for the sport, Mike. We appreciate that, and same to you, Midge. He does an awful lot to support the sport of snowmobiling. He's the founder of the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, which is a wonderful organization. Yeah, and if you're a regular viewer of this, that organization is no stranger to you. Matthew Vincent Brayman says, I went to the Washington show and had a great time. He brought a machine. Cool deal. Cool deal. Yeah, that was a great show. They do a really good job with that show. Bill Walton says, hey guys, Bill Walton here from the Leaf Spring Outlaws in Rochester, New York. Outstanding. We had your friend on, Jeff. Scott Warner, I think is his name. We had him on a couple of years ago. We'd like to get you guys on again sometime. We were talking about the grass drags a couple of years ago. Dirk Seams says, what was the small green snowmobile with a single leaf spring right at the start of the pictures? Let's take a look real quick. Oh, right there. Yeah, on the left there. I don't know, but that's got like that spring that goes across between the skis.
Yeah. It's got John Deere color, but it looks like a snow pony.
Yeah, maybe it's a snow pony. I'm not sure. I see those every now and then, but I don't remember what that is. And then, here, my
Reese
good friend
will tell us
John
later.
Springer Jr. I'm sorry, what?
Reese will tell us later.
Yes. Yeah, Reese will know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, Reese, if you're watching and know what that is, please let us know. My good friend John Springer Jr. is in the house. He says he likes that bubble nose hood on the late model Ski-Doo. Absolutely. Dirk Seams and says near the end, And David from Alaska Railroad says, hello, Paul Reagan. I'm a huge train fan as well. HO scale guy. Cool deal. And I think we've got one more, and we'll get back into the program. We've got so much to look at tonight. Matthew Vincent Bremen says, Dirk seems swinger mod. Oh, that's the sled he was talking about. Cool deal. All right, let's remove this. We've got so much to look at tonight. Let's I'm just trying to find my place here. Taking a moment. I'm in my haste. I'm clicking the wrong buttons here. Okay, so we're on item number 4. Now, Dave Lowery, a regular viewer, shared some images with us from the Vermillion Alberta Snowmobile Expo in November, 11/25/23. So let's take a look at some of those images. I put them into a little montage with some music. Let's take a look. Yeah, thank you so much to David Lowery for sharing those images. I have to say, one of the things I love about doing this podcast is when people engage with us like this, sharing images and video clips. I like the idea that possibly we're becoming the place where people can go to see what's going on at vintage snowmobile shows across the U.S. and Canada. I love the idea of being that guy, or this podcast being that place where people go for that. Yeah, Rob, any comments on what we were just looking at?
That was a popular show for Artie Cats, and TXLs are always favorite at shows, eh?
Yes. Speaking of which,
wins a lot of awards at show because they had a sharp looking machine that was limited amount built.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of Polaris was very well represented there.
Yeah, and it was an indoor show too. Nice.
Yeah, that's always nice, especially on a cold day. You never know what the weather's going to be like.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Oh, we've got a comment that's come in. Owned by Nick Ruddy. It must be talking about one of those sleds that we were looking at earlier. Alan Gove says, good evening from New Hampshire. Good evening back. Nice to have you with us. Well, cool. So I'm kind of rushing along here because we've got so much to look at, and I want to get it all in. We are on item number 5. So, we were talking about images and footage shared by viewers. Once again, some more footage. This is Dominic Cain, one of our viewers, and he's been on the podcast. He was on a couple of years ago. He got some footage. It's just over this past weekend from a vintage snowmobile show in Hale, Michigan. I like to joke, about the name Hale. When Hale freezes over, they have a vintage snowmobile show. So let's go to Hale and see what it looks like when it freezes over.
So here we are in Hale for their 2024 show. Several John Deeres. Moto Ski Supersonic. Some nice cats in the middle row. Some more Moto skis. It's a VMAX 4 back there. There's always a pretty cool sled. Some Polaris's. And quite a bit of Thunderjets this year.
Right.
Plus, I usually have 2 or 3 gallons.
Yeah.
They did. They did. And my buddy, I guess, a little light.
Really good turnout this year. Got some Mercs in the back. It's a pretty cool Mercury sleigh there. I've owned so many of these Jags, I'm always wanting to check the serial number to see if it's one that I've had. Owned several, sold several. There's that VMAX 4. Each year was a different paint color or graphics on these machines, so you could probably, a Yamaha enthusiast could look right at that and tell you exactly what year that is, just based off of the colors. So that's a 4-cylinder VMAX, and they were aluminum ski, just like that. Pretty neat. I don't think I'd ever feel a 4-wheeler. This Excel here is probably the cleanest Excel I've ever seen. I had a highly desired snowmobile, but usually when you see those, they're rather clapped out. It's a nice Panther with a sleigh for cooking on the back. Raffle sled. And here's this thing. I think this was here last year. It's a Simcoe power sled.
Dad, how does one in snow?
Pretty neat little machine.
Sure. That's out of a 2001 now.
Some really cool original cats. I guess cat dudes were kind of drawn to this. Got one with a Montana pipe over there. We have an EXT here. Some people argue that every EXT is a clone, but whatever. Whether or not, it's a pretty cool looking machine. Then Levi, his favorite are these older Articats with the actual bear as their symbol. He loves them so much he has a poster on his wall that's similar to that decal right there. Trail cats. These are such an awesome machine. There's like a collection of Vikings. Most likely these are Charlie's from the Novelty Museum. His dad was a Viking dealer, and he is now a Viking collector. And he's got an amazing collection. Kitty cat. This one's nice. Somebody took time and polished up that tunnel. That's awesome.
Dad, are we going to ride that snowmobile?
Nope, we're not. I'm a big OMC fan, so seeing the ski horses here in their original patina, it's always a good shot. And here's one of the rotary OMCs. I've had 1 or 2 of those, but they've never been a running machine. They've always been a park sled. Here's some nice Starcrafts. So this skedaddler is here almost each year. I find this thing so interesting. Wide track. This thing's super wide. I believe it's this show. I've seen this one at before. It's a really awesome machine. Some more OMC stuff with the sleigh with Santa.
Maybe that's one.
The Snow Cruiser by Chrysler. I actually had one of those one time. Bought it from a guy that used it as a decoration in his bar. Kept it for a little while and didn't do anything with it, and listed it on Facebook, and it sold within a day. Somebody took it. Made a Detroit Lions themed sled there. Tundra with the grooming sleigh. And then the Range Whip Sting to finish it out. Here in a little bit, we're going to be doing a race for the kids in the back on a kitty cat. Got a couple swappers here. If you haven't checked out this show, definitely check it out. They got food, snowmobiles, all sorts of fun stuff going on here.
Tractors? Out.
Cool deal. Thank you so much to Dominic Cain for that footage. We really appreciate that.
Into his kids.
Anything? Yes, that was cool. You notice they wanted to sit on that kitty cat.
Yeah.
It's nice after all these decades that those still speak to the kids, you know, that the kids still, that still resonates with the kids, the kitty cats.
What did he say that snowmobile is right beside the child there? Cadaver?
Yeah, an OMC. Well, let me play it.
Santa.
Maybe that's one.
Skedaddler, I think.
The Snow Cruiser by Chrysler. I actually had one of those one time. Bought it from a guy that used it as a decoration in his bar. Kept it for a little while.
Yeah, I think it was Skedaddler, and it had an extra wide track. You could see that seat was crazy wide.
And the Starcraft. I've never seen a Starcraft snowmobile before.
Oh, yes, yeah. It looked like there were several of them there. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it's quite a good collection of them. And then they had some right in the middle that I've never seen before. It looked like they were only one of a kind handmade. That was a good show.
Yes, I know the ones you mean. I don't know if I can find that or not.
Right there.
Yeah, these, yes. Yeah, those were true. Let me play that again.
Here's this thing. I think this was here last year. It's a Simcoe power sled.
Dad, how this one's in snow?
Pretty neat
And
little
that one
machine.
next to it, too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you turn them.
Yeah. That's pretty wild. Oh, we've got comments aplenty coming in. Let's see. Okay, yes, Mary Peter says, cool, man. Dominic Cain, here we go. This is Dominic's footage we were looking at. He said, we had a kitty cat race at the show. He said his 8-year-old had the fastest lap time. There you go.
Good.
Gotta love it. Ben Thomas says, way to bring them up right, Dominic. Absolutely. It's true. Yeah, bringing young kids to these shows. That's the future generation of this hobby. Yeah, absolutely. Good call on that. Dominic Cain says, Skedaddler with a wide track. Yep. And then one is for sale in Illinois right now. He says, oh, I apologize. I'm losing my voice. I'm still getting over that sore throat from a few weeks ago. Oh, the Simcoe ice sled is driven by a tire with a chain on it. Wow.
And he talked about a Jag he's had. I still have my mom's originally 1979 Jag, and it still runs. That's what my daughter and sister use.
That's amazing. Very cool.
It's used to tow the toboggan up back down the hill.
Wow, that's cool. So on item number 6, our good friend Reese Fleury, regular viewer and a mutual friend of all of ours, he's got some images from the Tupper Lake, New York Vintage Snowmobile Show back in September on the 23rd. Let me cue that up here and take a look. And we thank you, Reese, for sending us these images. Here it is right here. So yeah, thank you so much to our good friend Reese Fleury for these images. So cool to see what's going on at vintage snowmobile shows across the U.S. and Canada. We really appreciate all the footage and images like that. Anything catch your eye, Rob?
There were some neat snowmobiles there. I'm not sure what they were. Like the third from the end one, that blue one right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is either. If anyone knows, please leave a message in the comment what that blue sled is.
And then
Identified
if you
as
went
the
back
blue
about
sled.
another 5, there was 2 more blue ones, same color as that. I don't know what they were neither. Oh, that yellow one right beside that cruiser.
Yeah.
Looks like a rad cap sticking out of the hood. What is that?
Yeah, that's an oldie too. That's probably early 60s.
Yeah, there was a couple of pictures of that one.
These are always nice to see.
But there were some nice, great looking.
Yeah,
there
these,
they are,
yeah,
the 2 blue ones.
Well, it's hard to pause right on it here. Let me try it this way. Right there.
Yeah.
Are those early Scorpions? I think they're early Scorpions. I'm not 100% positive, but those might be
And
early
I think
Scorpions.
that yellow one with the big hood is right beside them, by the looks of the
Yes.
skis.
Yep.
Yeah.
Raider.
There were some
cats.
good machines in great shape at that show.
Yes. That Silver Bullet. Oh, there's another one. Now, what does that say? Ski Lark, I think. That's with that leaf spring that goes between the skis.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's a mini sled. I think that was for kids, if I'm not mistaken.
Different
But
kind
I
of
could
steering
be
on that.
mistaken. Yeah. Yeah, let's take a look at that again. Yeah, the way that that is different. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. And we've got some comments coming in. So that blue sled at the end, I think it was a Larson. Matthew Vincent Brayman says that was a Larson. Paul Reagan says cool soundtrack. Appreciate that. Ben Thomas says the Tupper Lake show has become one of our favorites. Reese and company do a great job. Totally agree. Yeah. Oh, and David from Alaska Railroad says first time seeing an Arian sled. Heard of them, but never seen one. I just lost my place here. Oh, the 1975 TNT RV is one of his favorite muscle sleds. Absolutely. One of the sexier sleds.
Yeah.
And those 2 blue ones, I think, were Scorpions, Bill Walton is saying.
Oh.
Oh, and then here we go. How's this for thing coming full circle? Matthew Vincent Brayman says those are his 65 Scorpions.
Well, I never knew
Small
Scorpion had.
world. That's very cool. Oh, and then Mad Dog says I had an Arians SS1 Lunger. It was a neat sled. And then Reese Fleury confirms. He says Brayman's Scorpions. Cool deal. The blue sled is a 68 Larson. Made by Polaris for Larson Boat Company. Interesting.
Oh.
Very cool. And Dominic Cain says Ski Lark and Wee Lark are the Larsons. They were made by an airplane company. And then Paul Reagan is asking the 65s, are they all fiberglass? Excellent question. If anyone has answers, please share them with us. Oh, and let me move this. A quick thought. If any of you who are going to vintage snowmobile shows, races, any kind of events this winter, or even in the non-winter months, they have these things year round. Please, if you're out there, just take your cell phone and get some footage or images for us. All I ask is please hold your camera horizontal like this for a wide shot, especially if you're doing video. Yes, exactly. Don't leave it at home like I do, so you don't get at the show swearing. So, you want to get there in a good mood, right? But yeah, because it's difficult to work for me to work in editing with horizontal footage. But yeah, and if you've got different video clips and whatever, just share them all with me. I'll edit them together. And likewise with the images, as you can see, I put them into a little montage with some music under it. And it's just a great way for all of us to see what people are doing at snowmobile shows all across the snow belt. I don't know about you, but I love this. And I love that we're seeing all these different shows all across the U.S. and Canada. A couple quick comments, and we're going to go on to the next here. Matthew Vincent Brayman says, yes. Paul Reagan says, I'll try my best to get some footage at Eagle River. Yes, please do. Thank you, Paul. We would love to see that. So switch gears here. Okay, we are on item number 7. Now, this is a quick promo. It's just a 30-second video clip, but it's a really nice one. This is a promo video someone made for the Tired Iron Vintage Snowmobile Show coming up on February the 3rd, just in a few weeks. Stetsonville, Wisconsin. And this came from Nathan Long. So let me get that queued up. This is a really nice little video clip somebody made. Great way to promote the show, by the way. Yeah, nice job with that. Very cool. So if you're in Wisconsin, I don't know how close you would be to Stetsonville, but that looks like a show that's worth seeing. And they did a great job with the editing on that video, I have to say. Yeah, very nice. Anything get your eye with that, Rob?
Oh, I like that Trent Dragger.
Yes.
And those Huskies.
Yes.
Were they really hard on people's knuckles when you went over a bump?
I've heard that, and I've also heard that, like, if you try to go up a snowbank, you can pin your knees in that bar.
That's what I've heard, but I've never known anybody to tried one yet.
Yeah, or maybe if you go down a snowbank too, you might get it under the chin.
Yeah.
But I imagine if you're aware of that and can anticipate that, you kind of position yourself accordingly, and maybe it's not too bad.
Be tough with two on it, but with one on it, you can sit back further.
Yes, and great for ice fishing.
Oh,
and I almost think there's a modern version of those for ice fishing. Somebody was telling me about that.
Yeah.
Let's see. We are on item number 8. We're actually getting through this in pretty good time tonight. I thought we were going to go way over. We're going to go a little over, but not too bad. Item number 8. These are some good friends of mine. They're having their 3rd annual Vintage Snowmobile Show, Newport Center, Vermont. This is very much worth a look. Here's some footage from last year. They're going to be having this year's on the 27th. Let me get a graphic for that. Take a close look at this. If you're in northern Vermont, this show is worth a look. This is an up-and-coming show. They're having their 3rd annual, and each year it just gets better and better. They've got a trail ride, lots of food, nice selections of sleds that show up. Instead of me talking about it, why don't I show you? Grab that clip, and here we go.
There's Robert right there. He's the landowner. So let's take a walk down these sleds. We're going to be doing interviews with some of these sled owners as we can catch up with people, and then we've got some other people that want to talk to us. So we've got a full at least hour or two planned here. Got some nice blizzards here. Now last year we were filming this particular blizzard, and we were asking the audience what year we thought it was, and this is a 79. The tag on there says 79. And these blizzards, here we go. Everyone's excited. This blizzard, all 3 of these are owned by Doug Matten, I think. I'll check the other tags to be sure. These might be someone else. Let me see. Andy Matten. So these must be family sleds. These are some beautiful blizzards. So this one is a 79. These two are 1980, the 9500 and the 7500. I think we've got an EXT back there. How you doing? Good, you? Oh, thank you. So yeah, I've got an EXT. I'm thinking early 90s. If anyone's viewing this, make a comment. What do you think? What year do you think that Prowler is? Or EXT, I'm sorry. But they had a Prowler around the same time that looked very similar to that. We've got a Yamaha Enticer. I don't think it's Enticer Larry's. If it were, he'd probably want to jump this whole line of sleds. And who's to stop him? Got a Spitfire. Now, there's a really cool story behind this Spitfire. Looking forward to hearing that. We're going to catch up with someone a little later to hear that story. And then these sleds here, the Merc and the Rebels belong to our good. I'm sorry, the Rups. One of them is a Rebel, but these belong to Ray Parento, a good friend of mine. I've videotaped these on numerous occasions, with the exception, of course, of this Mercury. That's a recent acquisition, so I have not had a chance to hear this backstory on that as to what's going on with that sled. But he's stepped out, but he's going to be back, and I hope to catch up with him for the story on those. And I'm fooling around with my gear here, trying to get situated. That's why the camera's bouncing. Give me one moment here, and I'll be situated, and we can go on with the program. Okay, so these are Ray Parento's sleds, these Rups. Beautiful machines. And this is a recent acquisition as well. I think last summer he got that, and I've been to his house to record commentary on that. It's a very impressive sled, as are all his sleds. He has a very impressive collection. And then we've got some of the Bristol sleds. They're mixed in here, but this is one. Let's take a look. This is Mark Bristol's sled. 71 Arctic Cat Puma Z. Only 96 of these made. Beautiful shape too. Then we've got a modern Renegade. And I want to try to catch up with Mark Bristol. He owns this sled. This is a very limited production prototype sled. He's got a story on that to tell us. I'm going to try to catch up with him at some point. This is the presidential SST. And if I remember correctly, the way he told me, it was a prototype for how they're going to do the 76 TNT. And they gave it out to some of the executives to see what their feedback was, and they gave feedback and made changes for the iconic SST that came out in 76.
One side of the whole thing is
Panther.
the other side is forward right now. Body area.
So this is a 68 Panther. That belongs to Lucas Bristol, who's standing right there. He's talking to somebody, but we'll catch up with him in a little while for some stories on these sleds. And this is a racing sled with a lot of history. This belonged to Steve Fenoff, who won. This is a very winning sled for him, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I will try to catch up with Lucas for the story on this in a little while. And Brian Barnard owns this 1980 Kawasaki.
So are these the only two sleds that we've got there?
Ooh, just lost my footing. Even K9s like vintage snowmobiles. How about that? He's going to take care of business over there. Yeah. So we got some John Deeres. A lot of John Deeres here today. An interesting story about John Deere's. As I said earlier, we were on the Tates Row property. At one time, this was a John Deere dealership, I think back in the 70s, and they used to sell, if I heard the story correctly, I think they used to sell John Deere snowmobiles right here from this location. And these are some older rear engine sleds and antique sleds. Let's see. Reggie Field, 1964. Beautiful, huh?
Oh, yeah.
You have sleds here today?
No, I don't have
No? All right. We're live, by the way, if you want to wave. Cool. Nice to meet you. We'll just come around the outside of here. Real early Ski-Doo here. I think in early 60s. 65, all right. That's a beautiful shape. I don't know if this belongs to Reggie Field as well. Dan Field, same family, I would imagine. Got an older Snow Sport by Rupp. This is a 68 Rupp GT300 owned by Reggie Field. And I was speaking with him earlier. He's agreed to interview with me, so try to catch up with him for an interview. Looking around trying to see where he is. But got a whole lot of people we want to interview today. We're just getting started, by the way. If you're just joining us, we are just getting started. This is a 64 Polaris Snow Traveler K12. I believe this is the one he climbs Mount Washington with. We'll have to ask him when we catch up with him for an interview. This is a Voyager, I believe. Snow Traveler Voyager series. 64, yeah, Danfield. Yeah, Danfield. And we've got a Moto Jet over here. Very cool with that bulbous headlight. Cool seat too. Looks like kind of a ski slope with a jump or something. The iconic chaparrals. Remember these from back in the day? Very nice. Oh, I wanted to see who this belonged to. Scott Peck, Motojet, 1970 or 71. And then a chaparral SS 440, 1972. Kelly Griswold owns this. Very nice. I remember these back in the day. Just make a little adjustment here with camera. Okay, we're back in business. Then we've got a Raider. Okay, love the twin tracks. Kenny Griswold, 1972 Raider 400. Something. Was this Kenny or Kelly? So it's Kenny and Kelly Griswold. I wanted to make sure that wasn't a typo or if my eyes weren't playing tricks on me. Another Chaparral. Kelly Griswold, Chaparral 340 Executive from 1971. That's in sweet shape too. Look at that. Then we've got a Pantera. This looks like 79-ish or so. I just saw them pull in. It's usually a his and hers Pantera couple that come in.
So yes, pardon me. Yes, the Newport Center, Vermont Vintage Snowmobile Show. The next one's coming up the 27th of this month, just a couple of weeks away. If you're in the area, it's worth a look. It is a great show. Anything catch your eye there, Rob?
At the beginning, that EXT, that was 1982, and they also had an 81 out, and they both had 550s in it, because I have the 82, well, just like that one. with the flames on the hood.
Nice.
And that's my project this year, to redo that one.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Skidoo all done.
Nice.
The
Nice.
chaparrals were in nice shape, but I never heard of a Moto Jet.
Motojet, yeah, with that strange light.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me go back to that. That was definitely unique right there.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what I'm planning to do this year. I go to this event every year, and as much as I enjoy going live from an event, the signal I was getting at this event was just a little bit off. Maybe 3 bars instead of 4 or 5 bars. That's why this is a little grainy and the audio chops a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do instead this year is just go and record video and then upload it to the internet later. That way I'll get much better signal. But I enjoy the spontaneity of going live. But sometimes you just can't, because I'd rather have a better quality image, which is what I'm going to go for this time. But as soon as I have that footage, I'll put it up for everyone to enjoy.
Look forward to it.
Yes, it's a great show. I'm going to put the graphic up one more time because I've been in touch with them this week also about this. Great. It's the Tatro family, Robert and Brenda Tatro, and the Country Riders Snowmobile Club are putting this on. Incidentally, by just, bizarre series of coincidences, Brenda Tatro is also a close friend of my girlfriend for many, many years. Just a small world, But yeah, very much a show worth looking at. It's a great show, and I hope you'll join us on the 27th for that. Let me remove this, and we are on item number 8. No, item number 9. Wow. So, where was I? I was just marveling at how we got through all this so quickly. I mean, I thought we were going to go like an hour and a half with this. But right after Thanksgiving, I got together with my good friend Midge Rosebrook. We went out to lunch that day, had a great time. And then just before lunch, we filmed some video. And rather than try to explain it on the front end, I'm just going to play it for you, and we'll talk about it on the other side. Let me pull it up. Midge, by the way, he's the founder of the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. He's also an incredible historian for snowmobile history, especially as it pertains to Vermont and New Hampshire. And that's what he's going to be talking to us about in this clip. Let's take a look. We're here at Midge's house again, and Midge, of course, is a historian for all things snowmobile, especially as it pertains to northern Vermont and New Hampshire, and he's got some stories about the history of snowmobiling in Vermont today, and I'm going to get out of his way and let him tell us some stories.
Well, Mike called me yesterday and wanted to know if he could come down and we'd have a little gathering here. So I decided to, I hunted up this magazine here that was published back in, I think, 2017 for the 50th anniversary, if you will, of the VAST, Vermont Association of Snow Travel. I think that's what that stands for, isn't it, Mike?
Yes, Vermont Association of Snow Travelers.
Yeah, and so I had written an article in my in the newspaper in my stories that I used to write in past, present, and Midge that I did, and of course I'm not doing that anymore because they stopped publishing the paper. But when I did that story for the Lunenburg
That's all right. We'll take a break.
Yeah, okay.
And once you think of it, just say, when I did that story, and just kind of pick up where you left off.
Yeah.
And I'll edit that part out.
Okay. When we did the story for the polar bears, the Lunenburg polar bears, they approached me to do a story on that club, which was celebrating the 50th in 2016. So I think it was 1966 when that club started. So I did up a story on that. They gave me a bunch of information on the background of the whole thing and how it started and who helped getting started and everything. So, and then they had the 50th anniversary party over in Lunenburg in the common rather. So I went over to that, and some of the people from VAST were there celebrating that as well. And I guess they had seen my article that I had written in the newspaper. So they wanted to know if I could write an article about VAST 50th anniversary, which was coming up the next year. So I said, yeah, I'd like to do that for you. So they set up an appointment with me and Glinda, my wife. We went over to Burlington and interviewed Mitzi Oakes. Together, her and her husband Bill were the originators of VAST back in 1967. So we went to Burlington and visited her in her little apartment. And Amos Colby and his wife went, and there's a couple other people that were associated with the origin of Vast were there. And I interviewed Mitzi, and had a really good time there. And this is the magazine that they published in 2017. It's the 50th anniversary edition of the Snowmobile Vermont magazine. And in there is my article that I had written. And, I had a couple of extra copies here, so I thought I would give this copy to Mike because of his association with the snowmobile, and especially Vermont. So, Mike, I'll give you this copy, and I also have something else for you.
Oh, wow.
When I was over there...
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please continue.
When I was over there, they had presented me with a Vast jacket. Well, I was a member of Vast back in the early going when we did the Northeast Kingdom ride-ins in St. Johnsbury, so I was a member of Vast for a while, but been a long time since that I was ever a member of Vast. So it was a little strange for me when I would wear this Vermont Vast jacket to the Snowdrifters meetings.
In New Hampshire.
In New Hampshire. So, but I did wear it some, and I enjoyed it, but it's a little large for me. It's a medium, but I think it's a Texas medium. So, without further ado, I would like to pass this jacket over to Mike Lapierre, who is from Vermont.
Well, this is wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so try
great.
that on, Mike.
Get the Vast patch on there.
Yeah.
And while I'm trying it on, I do have a little Vast story or some background first. Oh, it fits good.
Yeah, there it is.
Yes. So, of course, I grew up in Vermont, and we were a snowmobiling family all through the 70s and into the 80s. And every year we would sign up to be members of Vast, and we had Vast stickers on our sleds. So this is wonderful. This fits right into that, ties into the whole microcross history.
Mike does snowmobile shows over there. There's one up in Newport that he does every year up in his area. And so, if it happened to be a chilly day when he does it, or if it, I guess you guys do that in the winter though, don't you?
Yeah, there's summer shows and fall shows.
So you do have a summer show.
Yeah.
If it happens to be chilly or if it's a warm day in the winter,
yes,
you could probably wear it too. So anyway, so there you go, Mike.
Thank you so much. Actually, let's do a photo opportunity with the magazine.
Okay. There you go.
Wonderful. Thank you, Midge. This is wonderful.
Mike. Yeah. No, it's a great organization, Vast is. They're in on the ground floor of this whole thing. And as I told Mike, if it wasn't for the New Hampshire Snowmobile Association and Vast, snowmobiling wouldn't be like it is today because landowners were shutting their land off to snowmobiling back then, as I remember, and they were having a hard time with landowners because people were cutting fences, they were trashing and leaving trash on the property, and farmers didn't like that, so they were actually posting their land and shutting it off to snowmobilists. So to have these organizations step up and jump in and make friends with these landowners and have specific trails where people weren't going through the wood lots and knocking down little baby trees and things for the farmers, and so it was a good thing.
And for everybody, the riders and the landowners and everybody, they all found some common ground.
That's right. And so the trails that you have today are the reason because of these organizations that they started some 50 years ago. So.
Yes.
Yes.
This is wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right, Mike.
Love it. Yeah, thank you so much to Midge for the magazine and for the jacket. I will cherish those always. And sooner or later, you will see me at an event wearing that jacket for sure. And before I ask for comments from you, Rob, I have to make a quick apology to Midge. There was a section in there where he was drawing a blank, and I told him I would edit that out. And in my haste today, I forgot to edit that out. So Midge, I apologize for that. I was just going too fast and I missed that. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, Rob, any thoughts or reactions to any of that?
Great that people participated in the clubs that long. If it wasn't for the people participating, there wouldn't be the clubs.
It's true. And it's such a big part of the history, Yeah. Yeah, a lot of wonderful memories of being in Vast, when I was a kid, all through the 70s and 80s. Yeah, we were always Vast members all those years.
Yeah.
So let's see, we've got comments coming in. Just looking for my place here. Oh, a good question. Reese Fleury, do you need registration and insurance for the trail ride? If you're talking about the one in Newport Center, I'm trying to remember. A lot of these rides you don't, as long as you stay on on the trail. But I'm not sure. I would contact the Country Riders Snowmobile Club if you're interested in coming out to find out exactly what you need for that. Because I don't want to say it wrong and have you come all this way and have what I told you be wrong. But a lot of those trail rides like that, they would make an arrangement with the state where you don't need to have that. James Spranger says, another great show tonight. Thank you so much. Looking forward to having you and your brother on the podcast in February. Looking forward to that. Also, someone on Facebook says, another great show. Thank you so much. Now, Dirk Seams has some information on the Motojets, the one with that bulbous headlight. Motojets were produced from 1970 to 1972 by Motojet Incorporated in St. Martin, Quebec. Thank you for that information. We appreciate that.
Yep.
Let's see. Bill Walton says, great show tonight. Thank you so much for that. Ben Thomas says, great job tonight, gentlemen. Enjoyed the podcast. Well, I appreciate that. David from Alaska Railroad says, cool show. Thanks to Mike and Rob. You both are awesome. Well, thank you. Yes. Let's see. Reese Fleury says, great show as usual. See you all next week. Outstanding. And sooner or later, we'll have Reese on the show as well. I think he's getting his ducks in a row as far as sleds to bring on. But once those ducks are in a row, we want to look at those ducks. Midge, our good friend Midge Rosebrook says, old age is creeping up for us all. Absolutely. I have senior moments every day. And I apologize that I didn't edit that out. I just was going too fast today. Mad Dog says, enjoyed the show tonight, boys. Thank you. Cool deal. Ben Thomas says, Midge is a walking encyclopedia of snowmobile history. That is the truth. Yeah, and he and I have collaborated so many times doing videos about history. Yeah, he is the man. Matthew Vincent Bremen says, great show. Thank you. Excellent as always. Jim Gaccione says, Midge is a great guy and awesome for our vintage sport. Absolutely. He is a snowmobile. He's a treasure for the vintage snowmobile community. Absolutely. Well, cool. I think we've come to that time of the night where it's time to wind it down. Any final thoughts, Rob, before we do?
Great show. What a good selection of snowmobiles and all the different events.
Yes, we covered some ground tonight, didn't we?
Did. Yes.
Yes. Great time. And yeah, I have to thank everyone who's shared images and video clips with us. That is just so much fun to see what's going on across the snow belt in the U.S. and Canada, see what people are doing at different shows. So please keep that coming. We love it. And if you're here, at over an hour into this, it means you love it too. I have to assume that. So yeah, thank you for viewing that. Thank you for contributing that. And as you're going to events this year, please take some video clips and images and share them with me, and I'll edit them into whatever it needs to be to make it happen like we were looking at tonight. All I ask, especially if you're taking video, please, please, please hold your camera horizontal like this for a wide shot. It's very difficult to edit vertical footage. I can do it, but it doesn't look right. So please hold your camera horizontal if you're doing video footage, and please get some footage and share it. We can all enjoy it and see what's going on around the U.S. and Canada. Oh, a few more comments. Dirk Seams says, good night, guys. Stacy and Art Foser, love seeing sleds I never saw before. Absolutely. We saw some new stuff tonight.
Yes, we did.
Some new old stuff. John Chokolowski says, good show, over and out from Maine, New York. Outstanding. Well, we're losing Rob, and he's back. Cool deal.
I'm still here.
Cool. All right. Well, with that, this concludes our broadcast day. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll catch you in 1 week's time with another fun-filled episode. And as always, we give the last word to Amsoil.
Have a great
Good evening,
night,
everyone. Hello, everyone. This is Rob and Mike. How you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing good. Mike, yourself?
Very well. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Now, today, we're going to be talking about Amsoil. And in a few moments, we're going to show you how you can get the deepest discounts, free shipping, and free gifts when you order your Amsoil products through us. But first, I'm going to ask Rob to give you a quick description of what Amsoil is and why you should consider using Amsoil products in your motorized vehicles.
Thanks, Mike. Amsoil is 100% synthetic oil. Everybody uses Amsoil for a different reason. Some people like the benefits that Amsoil is warranted for 25,000 miles or 1 year. The reason we can do that is because Amsoil doesn't oxidize. It doesn't form the usual carbons, gums, sludges like petroleum oils do. That's why we can keep it in the engines longer. Petroleum oils never do wear out. They oxidize themselves. That's why they have to be changed at 3,000 kilometers. And Amsoil likes the benefit that you only have to change the oil once a year. That saves some money. Some of the people like the benefit of Amsoil is it's a slipperier type lube. By having a slipperier type lube, it cuts down friction drag. By less friction and drag, engines run 20 to 50 degrees cooler, better gas mileage. Now, Amsoil says 25% more protection than the industry requires is in the Amsoil bottles. My average customer gets about 10% increase in gas mileage. That's a big savings.
Yeah.
And by cutting down friction and drag, for every 10 degrees you cut down the friction and drag, doubles the life of the engine. So by having the engine run cooler, it makes it last longer. Some people like the benefit of the range of the Amsoil. Amsoil's flash point is 425 degrees, and it pours at 50 below zero. Wow. If you ever try petroleum oil when it's 10 below, it turns to honey. And in the summertime, petroleum oil thins out. And once it thins out, that's when it starts breaking down. So Amsoil's an all-season oil, can give you better gas mileage, longer engine life, less maintenance. It ends up being cheaper over a year's time running Amsoil than it is petroleum oils.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And Amsoil is available for pretty much any motorized vehicle, anything from lawn equipment, cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles.
Yep. And a lot of people phone me up and say, well, what's the benefit of our gear loop? Exactly what I told you about the engine oil. It pours in cold weather, it runs cooler, makes the equipment last longer. And they say, well, what's the benefit of the small engine? Same thing. Makes the engine run cooler, last longer, better performance. So it saves on all the applications that Amsoil has available.
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, let's talk now. Hopefully this has convinced people to think about maybe joining us in the Amsoil experience. Let's talk about some of the discounts and free shipping and how that all happens. I'm going to pop a graphic on the screen. And yeah, by all means, if you want to talk people through how this preferred customer program works.
Amsoil has a number of different programs. One of our main ones is a catalog customer, where somebody can order directly out of our catalog. If they order out of the catalog, they order $100 worth, Amsoil will ship it right to their house. But our best program is our preferred customer. For only $10 for 6 months, you become a preferred customer, you save 25% on all the product. You order $100 worth, they're going to give you free shipping. You don't have to order a whole case. You can mix and match. Say you want 4 bottles of small engine, 7 bottles of 5W30, and a couple of gear loops. You can mix and match. You can order 1 bottle at a time if you want. There's no minimums, no maximums. By being a preferred customer, you save over 25% on all the products you're going to buy. Amsoil sends you extra gifts, a $5 gift certificate on your birthday, $5 when you renew your account and stuff like that. So it's a good way to save on some of the products you want to buy.
For sure. Yeah, it's an incredible value. And this is the deepest level of discount that anyone can get when ordering Amsoil. Is that correct?
It is.
Wonderful. So let's take people through the step-by-step experience of placing an Amsoil order. Then that would include signing up for the preferred customer preferred customer program, so they can receive those deepest levels of discount. So let's go to the website. This is what the website's going to look like. These are some screenshots. Once you go to amsoil.com, there's a link in the description, or you can just type that into a browser, amsoil.com. This is the page you land on. At the upper corner of the page there, you see how I've circled in red. That is the link to click, the Join Now link. That will take you to the Preferred Customer Program page, where you can take advantage of all of these discounts and free shipping and everything that we've just been talking about. This is what that page looks like. In the lower right, you're going to click Join Now. This will pop up. You select the duration you'd like, whether it's 6 months or 12 months, and click Add to Cart. Now, once this pop-up goes away, you'll be back on the main page. And the upper left, you'll see where I've got that red arrow. It says Shop. Now you can start shopping for products, and on your very first order, you're going to get these discounts and the free shipping as long as it's over $100. You'll get all of these benefits right away. So once you click Shop, it's going to take you to the product page. There's different types of oils, lubricants, so on and so forth. For the benefit of this exercise we're doing now, I'm just going to click motor oil. It shows different types of motor oil. Let's click gasoline. Now this takes us to an item. It's their synthetic motor oil. And you can see the item there, and there's choices for different viscosities. But take a look at the price. Let's take a closer look. Let's zoom in. But if you've joined the preferred customer program first, you're going to automatically get the deepest levels of discount. That's what we're looking at here. You're saving $3.80 on that quart of oil. Instead of paying $16.29, you're now paying $12.49 for that quart of oil. That is the deepest level of discount you can possibly get. And then you just add the quantity that you'd like. You select any other items that you're thinking about, add them to the cart. And once you click Add to Cart for the final time, you're going to see this come up at the top of the screen. It's going to show your items and your the total that you're at so far. Pardon me. And then you just click View Cart in the upper right, and that'll take you to your cart. Take a close look here at the upper right. That blue box shows that you're getting free shipping. You're eligible for free shipping on this order because it's over $100. That little yellow box shows that you've got the preferred customer membership on your order that gives you the deepest levels of discounts for the next 6 to 12 months. And then below that, you've got the items that have been selected. For the exercise here, I selected 9 quarts of the signature series, but that brings us up over $100 for the free shipping. We're saving $34.20. And if you're ready to finish, you click Checkout Now, and that takes you to this screen here. If you haven't signed up with an Amsoil account at this point, just click in the lower right to create an account, create a new account. It's going to ask you for some basic information, name and those types of things. Now let's take a closer look. You'll see this gray shaded box. This is a very important box. This is going to ask you if someone has referred you to Amsoil. And if so, please enter my name. My name is Mike Lapierre. It's spelled right there on the screen for the correct spelling. And also the referral number, 304-555-94. That's how you make sure that Rob and I get credit for this. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I have signed up for Amsoil under Rob. So when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. So if you enjoy these podcasts that we're doing, this is a wonderful way to support the podcast, because when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. And the commissions I make go directly toward offsetting the cost of doing these podcasts. So I thank you in advance for that, for using my referral number. I very much appreciate it. And once you've done that, you just go into the next screen to enter your payment information, and you're done. Now, once you've placed your order that's over $100, and that order includes your Amsoil Preferred Customer Program, you are now eligible to get a free DVD from myself. Now, this is going to be either a muscle car DVD or a vintage snowmobile DVD. Use the email address on the screen, wkspodcasts@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know which DVD you would like me to send you, the muscle car or the vintage snowmobile DVD, and I'll get that right out to you. As you're typing in that email, in the subject line, be sure and type in capital letters "free DVD requests," so it stands out as I'm checking my email, and we'll get that right out to you. So I guess the last thing, Rob, that we wanted to talk about is if someone is considering Amsoil as a business opportunity.
Yes. If anybody has a retail or a commercial account and they would like to buy directly from Amsoil, just send Mike a line. He'll show you how to set up, and you can buy directly from Amsoil. But if you are interested in starting your own part-time business, a part-time business that can grow into a full-time income, Mike and I will show you the Amsoil marketing plan. Amsoil has a large selection of products that cover almost every application. So it doesn't matter if you're into snowmobile, boating, or ATVing, or hot rods. We have an oil for every application. It's a fun type business. I really enjoy doing. Where else can I go and have fun and make money doing it? And Mike and I are here to help you all the way along. If you need any help on how to promote or to find new accounts, we're here to help you.
For sure. So when you sign up under that number, this 304-555-94, you're getting Rob and I as a team. Now, Rob has been doing Amsoil for 40 years. Can you believe that? 40 years. So he knows every aspect of this business, and he knows all of the ins and outs of the products. So he'll be able to help you with any kind of product questions or any kind of questions to show you the different business models that you can do with Amsoil. And then the other thing that you get when you sign up under me is I've got a strong background in social media. So if you need some coaching on how to generate Amsoil leads using Facebook and YouTube, I'm happy to coach you with that when you sign up under Rob and I. You get both of us as a team to help you, to coach you, to support you, whatever you need to get you off and running with this business and having fun with it. Like Rob said, it's an enormous amount of fun. If you're like Rob and I and you enjoy going to any kind of boat shows, car shows, motorcycle shows, snowmobile shows, anything with a motor, you like going to those shows, those events, those races, this is a great way to turn that into a income opportunity for you.
Yes. And just by wearing my Amsoil hat at one of these events, people come up and ask me about Amsoil. People don't know where to buy it, and I'm there to help them, show them where they can buy the product.
Perfect. Well, cool. Well, this is great. Any final thoughts, Rob, before we wrap it up?
Amsoil's a fun business. Amsoil's been around since 1968. It was the first synthetic oil to be AI approved.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that's very early in the game too, isn't it?
Yes.
For sure. Well, good. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for viewing. Hopefully, we've gotten you excited as we are about the Amsoil products. We'd love it if you could join us either as someone who uses the Amsoil products or to join the Amsoil team as a business opportunity. And we thank you so much for viewing. Have a great day.
You have a good day.